When the flowers bloom and the birds sing, most people celebrate the arrival of spring. But for those who've seen what hides behind the veil of May Day, the season brings something far more chilling than renewal. Welcome back to Shivernest, where real people share their most terrifying experiences. This is part 2 of May Day Rituals Gone Wrong. And if you thought the first part was unsettling, you haven't heard the worst of it. It begins with a recurring symbol, one that shows up in story after story, the circle. In May Day traditions, circles represent the cycle of life. But in darker lore, they are boundaries used to trap spirits, summon energies, or open doors. Elise R., a historian from Wales, shared a tale passed down in her family. In the 1800s, a May Day gathering in a remote village ended in panic when a group of dancers fell unconscious mid-ritual. Witnesses claimed they were taken during a circle dance. When they awoke, all 7 spoke in tongues, and none remembered their own names. Even more unsettling is the story of the Red Circle, told in hushed voices across Scottish Highlands. It's said that if a maypole is wrapped with ribbons soaked in blood, human or animal, the circle around it becomes a gate. What lies on the other side? No one truly knows. One account from 1933 describes a village where this ritual was attempted. That village was abandoned within a year. No records exist after that date. None. But it's not just forgotten villages. Even today, things go terribly wrong. If you're still here, you're braver than most. And if you're enjoying these chilling tales, take a moment to subscribe to Shivernest. We dive deep into real horror, folklore, and the stories they don't want you to hear. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon. In 2015, a group of spiritual thrill seekers from Colorado live-streamed their Beltane ceremony. They danced, chanted, and invoked ancient deities. Midstream, a figure appeared on the edge of the firelight, tall, unmoving. None of the group acknowledged it, but everyone watching the stream saw it clearly. A figure in a crown of antlers. The video disappeared within 24 hours. One participant has refused to speak about that night. The others? All deleted their accounts. Some rituals don't involve fire, but silence. In a forgotten tradition from Lithuania, girls would sit in complete silence in a field at dusk on May Day Eve, hoping to see visions of their future husband. But a chilling variation tells of those who didn't see love, but death. One girl, whose story was passed down in local archives, saw a dark figure instead. 3 days later, she was found drowned, her face locked in a frozen scream. Even those who observe May Day casually have felt its shadow. Carlos V., a construction worker in New Mexico, was renovating a historic home when he discovered an old maypole buried under the floorboards. Red stains marred the wood. That night, he heard a rhythmic drumming outside his window. There was no one there. The next morning, a wreath of dead flowers hung from his door handle. Children's games aren't safe either. In a rural Pennsylvania town, a school held a May Day pageant with a mock maypole. During rehearsal, one girl started crying and refused to dance. She said the pole was breathing. Teachers dismissed it. That night, the pole was found snapped in two, and the girl's room filled with dead moths. These aren't just isolated events. They form a pattern. Throughout history, May Day has been tied to fertility and rebirth. But what if something else is also being reborn each year? Something that's hungry. Ancient Celtic lore speaks of entities known as the Green Ones, beings who wake only once a year. Offerings were made to appease them. Fire, blood, song. But now, those stories are fairy tales, forgotten, or ignored. If you're still here, you're braver than most. And if you're enjoying these chilling tales, take a moment to subscribe to Shivernest. We dive deep into real horror, folklore, and the stories they don't want you to hear. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon. In 2001, hikers in Norway found a clearing filled with dozens of carved wooden figures. Twisting, eyeless faces turned toward a single maypole. The soil around it was scorched. No animals lived in that area, not even birds. Even government records have odd entries. In 1986, a U.S. Rangers report from the Appalachian region noted an illegal May Day bonfire. The fire was surrounded by 13 wooden effigies, each marked with an ancient rune. The report was marked classified cultural anomaly and never followed up on. And still, Each May, more people celebrate. More poles are raised. More fires lit. In some traditions, the May Queen must be chosen each year. She represents new life. But in darker versions of the ritual, the Queen doesn't walk away. Her spirit is bound to ensure the land prospers. A sacrifice in flowers and lace. In 2020, a small reenactment group in England chose a young girl as May Queen. She was crowned, praised, and then vanished during the night. Police called it a runaway, but her shoes were found at the base of the maypole, tied together and pointing north, just like in the old stories. These aren't myths. These are echoes. Echoes of a time when people understood that spring did not come without a cost. When fire wasn't for warmth, it was for warding off what crawled beneath the soil. Tonight, we've heard more stories. We've connected old rituals to modern horrors. And we've seen how the past refuses to stay buried. If you thought May Day was just a cheerful festival, think again. The ribbons, the flowers, the songs, they are not decorations. They are warnings. So when May returns again and the fires are lit once more, ask yourself, what are we really celebrating? And more importantly, what are we inviting in? You've been watching Shivernest. If you've experienced anything strange during May Day, or any ritual, leave your story in the comments. You never know who else might share your nightmare. Until next time, stay out of the circle and never follow the music into the woods.